Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I want to give you two main reasons why you may want to consider doing timed sets versus doing rep counted sets. Now, I'm just going to let you know, there's nothing wrong with doing counted sets, meaning doing 8 to 10 reps or 8 to 12 reps. And it comes down to the programming or the protocols that you've set in place. Nothing wrong with that. We're just happy that people are training, correct? So whether you do timed time sets or you do rep counted, but I wanted to give you two main reasons why you may want to start now considering doing time sets. Two really good reasons. There are benefits to doing probably more than the two I'm going to tell you, and there's other, by the way, there are benefits to doing rep counted sets as well, but I'm going to show you the top two reasons why I want you to consider doing the timed versus rep sets. But before I get into that, let me ask you a question. Do you get value from the videos that we're providing you? And if you do, or this video gives you some value, helps you to understand something about the particular topic that we're covering, please consider going ahead and subscribing to our channel. Give us a like. One of the best things you can do is give us a comment in the comment section below. If it is helpful, encouraging, please let us know. If you have ideas for other material, other content, absolutely let us know that as well. Okay, so back to the top two reasons why I would want you to start considering doing timed sets versus doing rep counted sets. So the first one is just the basic structure to your programming. When you're training individuals or groups of folks, what you end up doing is setting up from your business perspective, you're setting up a training protocol programming that generally has a timed element to it. You train for an hour, or you're doing the cardio for this amount of time, your warm up, your cool down. Maybe you have 30 minutes for the resistance training. Maybe you have 20 minutes. I don't know what the programming is, but in any of those scenarios, as soon as you put timed elements into your programming, you have immediately made it administratively, operationally, and structurally much more easy to follow. In other words, if I'm going to be training you for 30 minutes, training clients for 30 minutes, and I know that my training programming for this particular workout today is going to entail a certain number of exercises, and I put a timed element, in other words, all of my sets, no matter what I do, no matter what exercises I do, are going to be 30 seconds. I don't know. And whatever number of reps I get, that's fine. 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Look what I can do. I can literally write down that I will start at this time. And because I know that these particular sets take this much time, literally, I'm timing it. I've got my watch, or I got my stopwatch. It's for 30 seconds. And when we're done, we're going to take a 1 minute break, whatever that scenario is. I can give you numbers off the cuff. So 30-second set, it's going to give me whatever, 10 reps, 6, 8, 12. It doesn't really matter. The timing part of it gives me the ability to structure my timed workout. 45-minute training session, 30-minute training session, right? 30 seconds for 3 sets gives me, right, a minute and a half. So I already know how long the actual workout will last. That's a huge plus when it comes to trying to structure your daily workout routines and your clientele. Very similar to, I'll give you an example. Think about a massage therapist. So a massage therapist has like every hour, right? Or they're doing 30-minute massages. They're not counting reps, number of massages they're doing. All they know is that they start this time, they're done at this time. Well, it's the same thing with the personal training programming. If I know how long it takes for me to complete these sets, because I've timed them, I've pre-timed them, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, I immediately know what the actual training time is. The only sort of variable that's not as consistent is the rest time in between my sets. Okay, but at least I've navigated past one of the problems that I may have, which is if I'm going to do a set or group of sets that are between 15 to 20 reps, was it 15 or is it 20? I might get done too soon on a set with a particular client. I might take longer because they can keep going. They're at 15 and I got to keep, and that could accrue additional 5 to 10, 20-second increments. And if I'm doing a workout that involves 4 exercises, and I'm doing 2 to 3 sets each, that could create a significant override on the amount of time I have scheduled. In other words, I could be 5 to 10 minutes under my workout time frame, or 5 to 10 minutes over. That's not something I'm interested in doing. So when I time the sets, it doesn't matter. Now, what I basically said is I'm not as concerned about the number of reps that a person's getting. And honestly, what's the difference between 12 reps or 11? What's the difference between 16 or 15 or 17? It's not relevant. So when I time it, I get better structural control, timing control over my workout. I know that when I do 30-second sets for curls, or I do minute sets for squats, I know I'm getting significant repetitions, but what that allows me to do is say, stop, and let's move on to the next exercise, or whatever the case is. I've created more structure in my programming. So that's number one. It does not mean, please understand, does not mean that doing a set and telling your client, this set we're going to do 8 to 10, let's get 8 to 10 reps is bad or wrong. Absolutely not. This is about giving you a little bit extra structure, a little bit extra control over your timing for your particular workout. So that's number one. Number two, the second, and this is probably where it really comes into play, probably more so than even the first one, although it's related. And that's moving from one-on-one training, which on its own has a lot of benefits to it, to the concept of small group training, anywhere between 2 all the way up to 5. You could do 6 folks, but generally 2 to 4 or 5 folks at one time. By the way, that maximizes, and we've done videos on this, maximizes your revenue, because you got 5 people, 4 people training in a single time frame versus one person. So financially, it's good. But here's where this really comes into play. When I train more than 2, well, if I train more than one person, if I train 2 people, depending on their fitness levels, depending on their endurance, muscle endurance capabilities, depending on their strength, I could have 2 very different dynamics going on. So if I'm going to train, and I much prefer doing small group training, if I'm going to train 5 people, let's say I get 5 people, I've got all differing levels of fitness. So they're bringing very different dynamics to the table. If I'm training 5 people, guess what? We're all training squats, and we're all training lateral raises, and we're all doing the same exact thing. When I time my set, I don't have to worry now about one individual getting done first, and then we have to wait on the other 2 folks over there who are struggling to get to those repetitions. So imagine, and again, there's nothing wrong per se physiologically with it, but let's just say I've got 5 individuals. I've got some fit folks, and I've got some folks that aren't as fit. And we're going to do lateral raises. And I say, let's go ahead and try and get 15, minimum of 15 repetitions, something like that. Well, my fit folks might crank through their set, and they're done. Boom, boom, there's their 15, boom, and they drop their weight. And I've got some other individuals that are not as fit that are struggling, 12, 13. And you see what happens. Is it a big difference in time? Well, again, just like when I talked about the first one, the structured component to your programming is when I start to tally up the delays, or the opposite of the delay, people getting done early, I lose control over my timing. And so what I would prefer to do is to have my fit client and my unfit client both be finished in 30 seconds. By the way, there are physiological reasons why timing is actually better anyway, because there's the time under tension component. And if you, by the way, let me stop for a second. If you've never heard of what we call time under tension, and you want me to do a video just on the concept of time under tension, let me know in the comment section below. All right, back to it. Fit, unfit. Their fit person's probably going to get done sooner, right? In other words, they'll complete the 15, 12 reps sooner than my unfit client. But if I go ahead and set it at 30 seconds, guess what happens? My fit client actually will probably do more repetitions than my unfit client. Hope that makes sense. The total time under tension would be exactly or generally the same. So there's benefits. And so keep that in mind. First thing is it structures your program. Whether you're doing one-on-one or small group, structuring and getting control over the time variable, the time elements in your workout can be very helpful, strictly from a scheduling perspective and business perspective as well. So you can get more clients. You're starting and finishing at a certain time. You're getting the total amount of necessary repetitions or volume of training in that you want to get. And then there's a second thing is that generally when we see more and more movement towards group training, as soon as you move into 2 or more individuals in a group, you're going to lose control based on fitness levels, fitness capacity, right, of all of your clients. So therefore, timed sets can actually be very helpful to keep everybody starting and finishing at the same time, even though the total number of repetitions that are being performed between client A, fit, and client D, unfit, keeping them at different levels, but their total time under tension, the total amount of actual muscular activity is going to be similar. And it's not going to be so much off that it's going to make any significant difference. Again, 14 reps versus 16 reps, is that going to make a significant difference in anybody's life? No, not in my clients. Okay, so those are your top 2 reasons. Are there more? Sure, probably. You can go ahead and leave me a comment in that comment section below. By the way, if you're interested in becoming a certified qualified personal trainer, please click on that link in the description box below. That will get you to talk to one of our admissions advisors, and they can help navigate you through the Body Design University process. Also, keep in mind that every Wednesday night, we do what's known as Quizlet Live. If you've ever used Quizlet, it's a great study tool. But what we do every Wednesday night is we take Quizlet and we kick it up to a whole nother level of fun and learning. It's called Quizlet Live. We actually create a competition where whoever comes in virtually into the game will actually be put out. You get put onto one side. I'll just show you. Put on one side. Everybody gets this little avatar, the name of an animal, right? So that's who you are. And then every time you get a question right, if you've ever played Quizlet, you got to get these questions right. They move you over, it takes you, and whoever wins. We do it for 30 minutes, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Pacific Time. So you got to keep that in mind depending on where you live. So as always, if you have any questions, let us know. We are here to help you to become certified and qualified personal trainers. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Thanks.